Hey, welcome back to the Big Rant Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit that subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. Now, if you're not a fan of the Dallas Cowboys or you're not a fan of the football in general, you may not want to watch this video. You may want to click off now. Now, I thank you for showing up, but if you're not interested in the sport, I completely understand. And there'll be more videos for you later this week. But here's the thing. I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan since I was like 8 or 9 years old. I used to watch football with my grandmother. It was amazing watching her watch the Dallas Cowboy game. You know, Emma Smith would get to running, and she would get up and run up to the screen, you know, the TV, hollering at the TV like as if people could hear her hollering. But it was always awesome to watch her watch a Cowboy game. Usually more fun to watch her than it was to watch the actual game. But you know, the one thing I learned from watching my grandmother and watching other people I've known is being critical of your favorite team does not mean you're not a fan. And I get attacked by my fellow Dallas Cowboy fans all the time for not towing the party line, for being critical of the team when they fail. But I think as a fan, that's what you have to do. So that's what this video is about. As the season comes to a close, or has come to a close, the Dallas Cowboys have failed. They have failed to make the playoffs. And in 9 years under the reign of Jason Garrett, they have failed to win even one, or even sniff, a Super Bowl. And I believe it's time to move on from Jason Garrett. The problem is, as a fan, what I see, as somebody who really doesn't always know the intricate parts of the X's and O's of the game, I see a team as a fan that has no discipline. I see a team as a fan that the head coach has lost control of. And whether or not Jason Garrett is a good coach or a bad coach, he's lost his team. I think when that happens, you have to move on. For 9 years, we've sat here and suffered as Cowboy fans, nonstop. Ups and downs, with a few playoff appearances. But no Super Bowl trips. And this year, the team we put on that field was one of the best teams we've put out there on a field in his entire tenure. And we're 8-8, missing the playoffs. As a Cowboy fan, I can't take it anymore. It's time for Jason Garrett to go. I love my Dallas Cowboys, and I want to see them do good. I want to see them actually winning. You know, there are a lot of things that seemed weird to me this season. We start off 3-0 with a playbook that looked entirely different than the playbook we played with down the stretch. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Some of the things that Jason Garrett, some of the plays he would call as a fan just made no sense. But whether or not he's a good coach isn't my decision to make. I think maybe he'd be a great coach, especially in the college ranks. I think he'd do really good in places like the SEC. I think he'd be a great college coach, to be honest with you. Maybe he'd be a good fit for another team in the NFL. I don't know. But I know right now he's not a good fit for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not holding out hope, though, because Jason Garrett will never get fired by Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones loves having a yes man. And I don't think other coaches are going to be willing to work for Jerry Jones. Because who's going to work for a guy that tells you what plays to call and tells you how you can run your offense or your defense? So I guess we'll see what happens. But anyways, I just don't support Jason Garrett anymore. I think he needs to go. And I think we really need to look hard on what to do going forward. But I think Jason Garrett needs to go. A few other things. I don't know what to do with Dak Prescott. He's been so hit or miss, I don't know if he should stay. I know a lot of people are talking about how Amari Cooper wasn't at the top of his game all season. But how can your receiver be at the top of his game when your quarterback isn't always at the top of his game? Those are two people that are up for contract renewals from what I've read. What do you think down below? Should we keep Dak Prescott? Should we give him an extension? And should we give an extension to Amari Cooper? I believe Amari Cooper has done more than enough to get an extension, at least a 2 or 3 year extension on his contract. I love watching him play. He's the only bright spot on that entire offense most of the time, unless Ezekiel Elliott is playing. Really good. But Dak Prescott's been so hit or miss, I don't know. I don't think either of them, I don't think Amari Cooper or Dak Prescott deserve like bank-breaking money. But I believe Amari Cooper should at least be re-signed, and I think there should be talk about what to do with Dak Prescott. Anyhow, this has been the Big Ranch Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck. Better luck next year, Cowboys.